Hello, and good evening or good day, depending on where in the world you are right now. We're really glad you're here today for our online MBA info session. Topic of today's info session is doing an MBA or Master of Legal Studies next to a busy schedule. And here today with me is my colleague Alexander Danev.
Hi everyone.
He's our senior consultant in learning and education here at the WU Executive Academy. And through his years of experience, he's gathered a lot of insights into how the programs work. He's also had a lot of conversations with people interested in doing the program, as well as with students involved in our programs and the alumni, of course. So we're here to provide a lot of insights on this particular topic now, doing an MBA or Master of Legal Studies next to a busy schedule. I invite you all, when you have questions, to add them into our chat box. This is a unique tool that you can use because I'm going to be returning after a short presentation and I'm going to be asking your questions to Alex in just a few minutes. I'd say probably about 20 minutes and then we're going to go into your questions. So keep them coming in. I'm really looking forward to it. And have a nice time for now.
Thank you, Anna. Well, hi again, everyone. Since time is limited today and many of you might be on a short break from work, I'd like to jump in right into the topic. Just two things ahead. I will focus on the word MBA rather than MBA and Master of Legal Studies just for efficiency reasons. And while today we focus on the topic about how to accommodate the MBA next to your busy job, we will touch a little bit on the general information of the MBA programs. But if you want to receive more on the programs themselves, go more into detail, feel free to approach me or my colleagues from the program management anytime. Having said that, let's jump right into it. Now, how does the professional MBA look like? Why do we focus on the professional MBA today? Because this is our next intake. The professional MBA will start on October 14th, as you can see here. In a nutshell, the program consists of blocked modules. These are the periods of time where we need you to be on campus, or let's say in the classroom more generally. Classroom can happen here on campus in Vienna, but also abroad when you consider international residencies. So most of our MBA programs have international residencies where we take the students abroad to certain destinations and they spend usually 1 or 2 weeks there having classes and company visits. So these are the times or the periods where we need you to be in the classroom during the professional MBA. Now the professional MBA has two parts, the business core and the specialization. And what we have here in the business core are two tracks. So why do we have that? The 8-day track is a little bit more more intense and more dense. So you will have longer periods of time on campus covering more topics. But on the other hand side, you will have less times to travel to Vienna and to come to the classes. While the 4th-day track, this is I would say an ongoing process of modules starting in October, usually almost every month, where you have teachings on the campus. Who is the better target for each track? I would say, out of experience, the 8-day track really is an advantage for people who have to commute from far away. So if you are located either in Austria or I would say in the surrounding countries, then probably the 4th-day track will be a good choice for you. On the other hand side, it can be also it can have other reasons why you might choose one or the other track, depending also on your learning style. So if you want to have bits and pieces, but more of them, not so condensed, then you might want to choose the 4-day track. While if you want to get to get a more intense time where you can dive into the topics and stay on campus, so then the 8-day track might be your choice. So working next to your job, it allows you to take a couple of days off for the modules, but you stay in your job and you work and you study simultaneously. Now, after the business core, we have the specialization. Just a general overview here. So these are the English specializations from the Professional MBA we're offering. Usually the schedule for the specializations modules look like it's shown on the slide. So after the business core, you typically have a break over the summer. This is going to be 2020. And then in September, the modules restart. So in general, we have this structure of the modules. How is every module structured? Now, I've told you the times or the periods where you need to be in class. Now, time is obviously limited during the MBA. You have a couple of days on campus, as you have seen. So we need to outsource some parts or big parts of the learning. How do we do that? For each module, students have a pre-module assignment. This usually starts around 2 weeks prior to the in-class time, and is aimed at preparing yourself to the specific subject. So since the time is limited during the modules, we need to have students at a certain level so that you have fruitful conversations, discussions, and not to be required to cover topics. So the introduction materials, the readings, they usually will be during the pre-module assignment. Then you have your couple of days in class, and then afterwards, subsequently, you have the post-module assignment. So this obviously is after the module, usually also a period of 2 weeks. And this is where you apply what you have learned. I will show this also in some of the following slides. So one of the aim is to have hands-on learning, which you can apply directly on your job after the module. So for some assignments, you will also be asked to use data from your job or use current problems or challenges in your job environment, and hence be able to combine what you have learned, the new tools, directly into your job environment. We've calculated around 15 to 20 hours a week time investment for the ongoing assignments. This does not include the master thesis at the end of the program. But for the modules, it would be a wise idea to allocate some 15 to 20 hours per week for studying. Now, how do you manage doing a part-time program? So consider that it takes time to get your learning style but also your continuous job life organized. So it might take some time at the beginning of the program to get into the studying process. We of course assist with that. You have a peer group surrounding you. You will have peer members working on assignments with you. So it will happen very fast, but this is something to look ahead. And also be sure to coordinate the work schedule with the MBA schedule. So combine, talk with your bosses about the dates, try to allocate projects around the modules where it's possible. And also don't remember that, as I mentioned, most of the programs have international residencies, so traveling involved in the program. So this is definitely something to take into account while you're already planning for the MBA. Just a couple of words about the hub of the program, and that's Vienna. So we are literally in the heart of Europe. So it's quite easily accessible from countries in Europe. So you will have quite good connection flights, for instance. Not only from within the European Union, for instance, but also from Russia and from other countries. So Vienna is really, or Vienna Airport also is really a nice hub to commute from abroad for the modules. I've touched upon the international residencies before. Just to give you an overview on the destinations we have with the programs. Just as an example, our Global Executive MBA, who is supposed to start in April 2020, has 3 international residencies. First one to Latin America, in Argentina and in Brazil. Second one is in Asia, where the classes are in Hong Kong and in Hyderabad in India. And then the last one is in the United States. Most of the professional MBA programs have residencies to the United States, for instance, to the San Francisco Bay Area and the Silicon Valley. Our Executive MBA Romania has one of the destinations is Vienna, but also the United States, where there is a residency in New York City. So as you can see, there's traveling involved, so take this into account when planning. Some tips out of our experience when talking to prospects and to students, I would like to give you. First thing ahead is set goals for how you want to manage your learning journey. Now, I've mentioned the average time involvement. Of course, this can vary depending on your previous knowledge. So if you are a pro in marketing, you will maybe not invest that much time in the marketing modules, but more time in other topics like financials, for instance. So assess yourself, assess your knowledge gaps. We help you with that through our community services around the MBA, but assess your goal, your gaps, your knowledge gaps, and set goals on when you want to learn, how you want to manage job and family life, so to have, I'd say, a clear path ahead of you in your learning journey. Obviously, get rid of distractions. We hear that many times. When studying, when working, put your phones away if they are not necessary for the assignments. Also during class, this is something where we must be really strict to have fruitful discussions, people being focused on the topic. So get rid of distractions. Again, the third point is a little bit redundant with the first one. Preparation is key. So while setting your goals, you prepare on not only how you want to structure your learning, but prepare also for the modules, because the more you prepare, the more you invest thorough work into the pre-module assignments, the better the outcome is going to be, the more you will be able to take out from the discussions during the modules. And last but not least, take time for yourself. So allocate some free time with your family, short vacations. We know that doing an MBA is an intense time. It's a journey, and it can be climbing up a hill. And in many cases, it will be. So it will be time consuming. It will be challenging. Hence, it's even more important to allocate some time for yourself to recharge your batteries during the program. As usual, we like to back up our assumptions with what our graduates or alumni say. Just an example here, Olena, who has done the MBA a couple of years ago, when we talked about the time investment, she actually backed up what we have learned from our service. So it's good to allocate a certain amount of time, some 15 to 20 hours a week, and to have this on a constant basis, to come into a learning rhythm, get into the flow, into the learning flow, and this is where how you will be successful at the end. I have, I think, 2 slides about some general information on the MBA programs, just to touch upon that for a minute. So I mentioned the Global MBA program. This is our flagship Executive MBA program. It's a double degree program with the University of Minnesota, namely the Carlson School of Management. It's a very compact program, 16 months on the job, part-time, with the home base here in Vienna, but with the 3 international residencies. Then we have the Executive MBA in Bucharest. That's, I would say, a spin-off of the Global MBA here in Vienna. It's local executive MBA we run in Romania. It's an 18 months program, focuses obviously on general management, and is located in Bucharest. Just a quick word on that. So if you're located in Bucharest or in the surrounding countries, and this is where your business is located, it's surely a good program choice to look into. And then we have the Professional MBA starting in October, where we have a two-tier structure with a business core and certain specializations. The ratio here is roughly 2/3 of business core and 1/3 of specialization plus the master thesis at the end. And this is an 18 to 24 months program, depending on the specialization you choose. But in general, from the kickoff day to the graduation, it's roughly two years. The Master of Laws programs, that we have 3 of them. We have one program which is focusing on or targeting people from the business with no legal pre-education. That's our Master of Legal Studies program. It's also a part-time program, 15 months in German. Then we have very well-renowned international tax law program, our LLM. That's an English program which can be either part-time or full-time. And then we have a Master of Legal Studies in European Law, very similar to the Master of Legal Studies in German, but this one is in English and it's focusing, as the name says it, on the European business law. So what are the advantages of doing a part-time program? While, as I mentioned, it's a stretch, it's in time investment, it's something you do in addition to your mostly busy jobs, but it's something you can do while you work. These programs are designed so that you can do them while you stay on your job. While when you should you consider doing a full-time MBA, this definitely does not allow you to stay in your job. At a certain point of one's career, it gets more and more difficult to step out of the job for a certain period of time. Not only that, but also the skills you acquire during the part-time MBA, you can really implement them and transfer them to your daily work on a regular basis. So in an ideal world, you will have a module, let's say in strategy, and you will come out after those 4 days in strategy, and you will have ideally a list of 2, 3, 4 bullet points with some new tools, techniques, some issues you want to change, and you can come back into your job and start implementing what you have learned immediately. And obviously, if you're looking for making a career change, changing the industry, changing your employer, so using the MBA as a career booster, the part-time structure really allows you to leverage this in a very efficient way. Why? You stay in your job, you stay active, but while you do the program, you can benefit from all the services which the university offers, community and career-wise. Now, obviously, an MBA, part-time MBA, is not only a time investment, but it's also a financial investment. That goes without saying. To give you some information to maybe ease the decision or make you feel a little bit more comfortable in making this investment, we have some data showing a pretty good return of investment. One of the sources is the Financial Times Executive MBA ranking. I would definitely recommend to have a look at this. There is some interesting data which can we find, and also we have as another source our alumni survey we've done 2 years ago. So a couple of highlights here. In terms of career change, some 80% plus of the students make a career move either while being in the program or really shortly after graduation, about a year. So that's a pretty high number. So this shows us that while being an MBA, people start moving. They get inspired. They open their horizon, and they start on working towards goals they have, and doing that in a very efficient way. In terms of your personal development, we've seen that a high percentage of our students have taken new tasks and new responsibilities. You can see here the percentage, so more than 40% higher than before the degree in terms of the salary. A little bit more than 50%, namely 56%, have taken additional duties. So if you want to use the MBA as a career booster, as an accelerator in your career, you're in good company. So and we really try to provide you with what we want to do is provide you with a platform, not only in terms of learning, but also in terms of community and career services, where you can pick out the tools which are most beneficial for you. Having said that, thank you for now for your attention. As I mentioned in the beginning, this is just a quick overview or focus on a certain topic. If you would like to explore further, to get more information, to have me to connect with some of our alumni, or have a CV check, feel free to send it to me anytime to my email address, and I'd be happy to follow up on you. And I already see Anna coming back on stage.
Yes. It was a great presentation, a lot of cool insights.
Thank you very much.
And we have a few comments and questions coming in already. So just to answer the quick question, yeah, the presentation is available afterwards. And since you signed in here, Christoph and everyone else, I know who you are, I have your email, and I can make that available to you right away. Tomorrow, you'll probably be receiving it at the latest tomorrow. So we have a few questions coming in. First of all, from Tamash. He was wondering, is there an international residency, first of all, for the MBA in digital transformation and data science?
Good question. Not yet. So we have just implemented this program this year. It consists of the business core of the Professional MBA and some of our open programs, and we have combined these programs to an MBA this year for the first time. So it's pioneers phase we are going through. We will most probably include an international field trip ahead. For now, the home base is Vienna.
Okay. Good to know.
However, our students within the MBAs can join other international residencies. So we open on a regular basis our international residencies, for instance, to the Silicon Valley or to San Francisco, to students not only from the specific class, but also for other classes. So you will be informed about our field trips, and feel free to sign up for that if you're doing the program.
True. And it's great that you're interested in this program. And I see we also have Sarvatu interested in this program specialization. So I can get you both in touch with my colleague Elsa Nordberg, in case you're not already in touch with her. And she can provide you very good details on the program. But also send your questions. We can also get some questions answered here today. Make use of the time. And we'll be happy to help. So the next question coming in from Monica. You were talking a little bit a lot in detail on the workload in terms of hours per week. 15 to 20 hours, I believe, was expected for an average MBA course. Is this workload also similar to the workload of a legal studies course?
It is transferable. It will most probably not be the same figure for each module. As I say, these numbers are deliberately chosen from two, because it really depends on your prior knowledge, but you can really compare them and take them for the MLS programs as well.
Okay, so for the law programs, I know another difference is they don't have a residency, but they're often going to the Austrian Court of Justice.
They do,
and
yes.
They have more of the sense of a company visit, but of course not to a company, but to the justice system here in Vienna, since our academic director of the program works in the Austrian Supreme Court. It's Professor Georg Kodak. He's a
judge, actually, at the Austrian Supreme Court.
Yes. working for the citizens of Austria at the Austrian Supreme Court, and he often he's the one making use of his connections and getting his students into these behind-the-scenes situations, more or less. So I hope that answers your question, Monica. If not, let us know. Keep them coming. We also have another question coming in for details, which I like this question a lot from Thomas. Often we get it, what's the difference between an executive MBA and a professional MBA? And I think Thomas wants to say now for the type of career goals I want to go on and not workload, but let us know if I interpreted this correctly. So in terms of my background, my career goals, what's the difference for me for an executive or professional MBA?
There are a couple of differences. First one is the focus of the program. While the Executive MBA focuses on general management topics, I would say rather from a bird's eye perspective, the Professional MBA goes more into detail, more into operational level, looking at the different topics. The Executive MBA has a more strategic bird's eye general management perspective. That's the one thing. Okay. That also is reflected by the peer group. Now, the typical student from the Global Executive MBA will most probably have more leadership responsibility and not focusing too much on operational details. It's not a must, but the typical student is rather that way. Professional MBA is, as I mentioned, the combination of a general management part with a specialization. So if you want to dive into a certain topic or industry like energy management, finance, marketing and sales, and so on, so then the Professional MBA is going to be the right choice for you. There are two other differences, namely the duration. The Executive MBA is a very short and compact and intense program. It's 16 months. Okay. Professional MBA is roughly 18 months of teaching time plus the master thesis, so a total of 24 months from start to graduation.
And you really then, I assume, become a specialist in the area of finance.
Precisely.
Or yes. In the area of project management.
Precisely.
And so you're really not even learning just to speak the language, as I would assume then these global managers are learning to speak the language, but in a project management situation, you're going to be really running the show.
Exactly. Well, in the project management, not to have a misunderstanding, we don't focus, for instance, on things like a certification like PMI, so where it's really a technical approach. Okay. We look at project management from a management approach in terms of your stakeholder management, project management risks, the leadership in project management, this lateral leadership, which is a very special kind of leadership. So these are more the topics we look into in the specialization, for instance.
And if you're interested in learning more about this project management specialization, we are hosting on Tuesday an info session, also in the afternoon at 2:30 p.m. to get insights on how this MBA is very practical relevant and how this is interpreted here and what you get out of it doing the program. So join us if you're interested in that next Tuesday. I can also send you more information if you want to. So we also have another question coming in, very specific from one listener out there. Peter is namely an executive right now. He's considering two programs, the Global Executive MBA on the one hand, and the Executive MBA in Bucharest. And he has 7 years of managerial experience, coming with a bachelor degree, perfect for our requirements. Would you advise him maybe on, first of all, the differences between these two programs, and then also what might be more advisable to do in this situation?
Peter, I will touch on your question right now. I'd be very happy to elaborate further in a one-to-one meeting, maybe a phone call, because it might be a little bit more complex. Just ahead. Main difference, or one of the main differences, is the peer group, as I mentioned before. The Executive MBA in Bucharest is a program which is located in Bucharest. It's our degree, but it's delivered and located and based in Bucharest. The peer group is mainly consistent of Romanians, so it's really targeting the Romanian market, which is a pretty large market in terms of MBA requirements. You might have or you will have some students from the countries abroad. We regularly have students from Bulgaria, Moldavia, for instance, joining the program. We do also have some Austrian people joining the program because there are a couple of companies, Austrian companies, making business in Romania. So
Bucharest is a hotspot for many.
Exactly. So we are also targeting the expat community in Romania. The Global Executive MBA is very, very international when it comes to the student group. So we've had an average of 20 to 25 nationalities in the classroom on a regular basis for the last year. So the peer group is slightly different in terms of the nationality backgrounds.
Okay.
That's the one thing. The second thing is Global Executive MBA, as the name says it, it's a truly global experience we provide to the students. So it's not only reflected in terms of the name, obviously, but in terms of the curriculum, where you have teachings in global markets, in global business strategy. And also you have the field trips or the international residencies to the specific locations, giving you this international exposure within this learning environment. So that's also another difference between both programs. Global MBA, really a very truly global experience. The Executive MBA in Bucharest has 2 field trips, one to New York and to Vienna. However, it does not have the same curriculum in terms of global markets.
They have actually, when you count going to Vienna twice at the beginning and at the end, 3.
2 locations.
But 2 locations, exactly. And about the content, though, I've also read that our Executive MBA Bucharest program focuses a little bit more intensively on this entrepreneurial skill of the executive, and they even have this in their capstone project.
They do.
Focus.
Yeah, where they work on real business projects during the capstone project, which is the master thesis project at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'd be happy to have a follow-up discussion on that.
So yeah, get in touch with Alex for that. We can also take a look at your CV and then see what might be the better fit for you. And this offer is open to everyone as well coming here to our info session online. We have another question coming in, Alex, from Thomas, before Alex. Thomas has graduated from the Wirtschaftsuni WU with the Magister studies, so he studied business and economics. Is the MBA then from the Executive Academy still an interesting option?
Totally, yeah, of course.
Okay,
why? First of all, the learning experience you will have will be most probably a very different one. When you have done your Magister, I assume this was right after high school. So if you do an MBA now, the learning style, the peer group consisting of experienced managers will provide you or allow you to experience a very different type of learning. Also, there's a lot of case study learning in the MBA, so don't expect the typical lectures, having all day of lecture. So this is not something we do in the MBA. The international faculty, so our faculty in the Executive MBA for the MBA programs consists not only of WU faculty, but we hire for our modules professors and experts from basically around the world.
And for the Bucharest Executive MBA as well, they're flying in from France and Canada.
Exactly.
And we do this for all our MBA programs. Why? Because we're utilizing the WU's network of partner universities. And WU is a very strong network of over 230 partner universities. And we can really select from those who want to, of course, teach here the best of the best and have them introduce their skills and management practical tips to our students.
I would say, just in addition, if you're based in Vienna, having done your Magister here in Vienna, it's not necessary to go far away to have an international experience in terms of an MBA. So you can come to the Executive Academy and really have an international experience in the program.
What are the numbers on the internationality for our student body?
In the global executive, I think a little bit more than 70% international students, non-Austrians, and it's very similar in the professional MBA. Also, depending on the specialization, but in a nutshell.
And I think the English Master of Legal Studies in European Business Law also has over 50% international students. Yeah. So these are people also living in Vienna and some flying in, I believe, to do the modules because they're also blocked over 7 days in the English language program, whereas in the Master of Legal Studies in German is more of, I think, over 10 or 13 modules over the period of 20 months, roughly. So any more questions coming in? This is a really lively session, and I'm looking forward to more of your questions. This is great. All right.
Good question. How can participation in one of your MBA facilitate career opportunities at corporate partners? Couple of words on that. As I mentioned during the presentation, what we do is we provide our students with a platform. This platform consists of learning, of content from the faculty. It consists of a community. We put our students in touch with our alumni community from the very first day of the MBA, so you don't need to wait until you graduate to have access to the alumni community. And also we provide career services like connections to our executive search partners. We have career events on campus on a regular basis. One of the most important factors, I would say, is our closed community EA Connect. That's an own platform we have, very similar to LinkedIn, where our students have their own profiles. But not only the students, but we have recruiters, we have HR partners, we have executive search companies,
Yes.
Which they have access to our platform. And this is where the career opportunity arises.
And it's even better than LinkedIn because it's not filled with all these other companies or schools or opportunities. Yeah. It's really all focused on your network here at the Executive Academy and the people as part of this network and what they offer in. And also, you can also say, hey, I'm looking for sparring partners in the idea of strategy in this regional area of, let's say, Latvia. Does anyone have experience doing business strategy in Latvia? And you can easily make these connections too. In terms of also more career events, because this might be interesting to you, we have another format. It's speed dating for executives. And recently we had at the end of May another alumni reunion where we allowed a lot of our previous students to come and meet with headhunters. We do now call them executive search partners, and they met, I think, many business contacts in a really short period of time because they meet for 10 minutes and then they move on to the next person. And it's very efficient, but very also exciting environment. I've been there too for a few to just check it out. So this is another format we offer on campus in a session like this. We also have opportunities for people who live abroad. We have a career angel who gives career advice on sharpening up your LinkedIn profile to make it more accessible for executive search partners who have jobs at the executive level. And then you can write the right keywords or frame your profile the right way so that you are found by these search partners. And we can also get you in touch with more options, but I would just say also take a look on our website. We have under the section alumni, we have lists of these career services that we offer as well. So great question, Tamas. And the rest of you keep them coming in. I see we have a few more minutes. We're happy to help. Perfect.
Let's see if there are any more questions above. Okay, presentation will be available, of course.
Oh, yeah.
While we are on it and waiting for more questions, let's just have a couple of words about our admission requirements. While I have them here, just to keep you guys busy. About the career progression or the student criteria. Of course, we look for candidates with a solid career progression, showing leadership, showing responsibility, and also proven skills. And also, those candidates need to be committed to this challenging program. So it has to be a match, covering actually everything I said before.
Okay.
So that's the main criteria. In terms of the admission requirement, the formal requirements, depending on the program, we ask for 3 or 5 years of minimum work and management experience. The degree must be a bachelor's degree or equivalent as a minimum. And obviously, since for the English programs, while we don't require any language tests, the whole application process is in English. The assessment during the interview is in English, so this gives us a good opportunity to check the proficiencies.
Aha, okay, that's why there's no TOEFL test
There is
or
no test required.
English required. Okay.
Precisely.
And I was wondering, we have this minimum requirements of 3 or 5 years for the work experience, but how does that mathematically add up? That would make the class average age, I'd say 26 or so, and I think the class average is a little bit older.
The class average actually is pretty much older. Global MBA is 37 years, Professional MBA in average is 34 years. So what you see is that students typically don't do the MBA right after these 3 years of work experience. So it's wise to have I would say a base of work experience which should be extensive. Why? Because not only you will learn from the faculty, but also from your peers, and you will be also asked to provide learning to your fellow students. So peer learning really is something we orchestrate during the program.
And see, thank you for clearing that up.
Now, in terms of the application process, that's pretty much straightforward. Once you're ready to apply, just submit the online application via our website. This application is being checked afterwards by the program management. If everything is in order, you will be invited to a personal interview with the academic director and with alumni. And then afterwards, you have the decision. Usually between a week or two after the interview, we provide
a week or two, really?
I would say maximum 2 weeks.
I see. Okay. And are there any advantages now to applying early, like maybe some sort of special rate?
Well, of course.
Okay.
The Global MBA has an early bird which is €5,000 fixed until end of August. So that's the latest early bird for the Global MBA starting next year in 2020. The Professional MBA early bird has expired already a couple of months ago.
Sure, the program's starting
but the program is starting in October.
Yeah. Well, we have another question coming in. Thomas is also asking for some clarification because it was unclear that GMAT wasn't required. So is that true, and how come?
This is true. We don't require GMAT test for candidates with a university degree. And obviously meeting all the requirements. In some cases, we might ask, or in individual cases, we might ask candidates to do the executive assessment from GMAC, so from the same organization, which is also organizing the GMAT test. That's an executive format test, and in some cases, we ask for that.
Okay, I see. Another question coming in, is there an early bird discount for the MBA in Digital Transformation and Data Science?
Well, yes, there was one, but it has expired already for this year.
Do you know roughly when it expired? Or?
Yeah, in March.
March, okay.
However, we might have some scholarships left. In that case, I would like to connect you with the program management in order to clarify whether there are some funds for scholarships.
Okay, so
talking about scholarships, go and check them out on the website. I think I have a short slide here. Yes, I do. Just as an overview on the scholarships and early birds we offer. So
perfect.
For the Professional MBA, officially the application deadline has expired, and the scholarship deadline as well. But there might be some remaining funds. So please go ahead and get in touch with the program management.
Yes. Well, thank you all as well for your active participation in our MBA session and our online info session on the Master of Legal Studies programs. The topic today was, of course, time management, and I hope you got a lot of good insights on how the program is structured here, and also how we have some tips that you can successfully complete a part-time program. And your questions were great. They really helped to make this fun for us. We look forward to hearing from you. You'll be receiving the slides within a day. And thank you so much from my side.
Thank you also from my side. And I'd be happy to be in touch. Have a great day ahead, all of you. Bye-bye.